What's scarier? A killer roaming the Australian outback or a demon that becomes the person you love most? What's good, people? I'm Travis, and this is The Final Cut, your daily pulse in horror. Quick episode today, but the stories are big. A cult slasher franchise returns. A brutal indie horror gets a theatrical release date. And Universal might be building a monster TV universe. Before we dive in, we give a quick shout out over to our sponsors over at Fanatical. Don't forget the feature deals right now. Resident Evil Requiem is still 18% off. Plus the Capcom favorites build your own bundle and Guardians of Azuma at 32% off. Bundle Fest is still running, so make sure you sign up for that newsletter so you don't miss the drops. And at GRUV, of course, March Movie Madness is live all month long. Deals across DC titles, upcoming releases like Devil's Advocate, Jurassic Park World Collection, and Adam Sandler starring Little Nicky, which hits limited edition steelbook on March 31st. Okay, that's the sponsors. Let's get into our top news stories for today. First up, Mick, where you been? One of the most sadistic killers in modern horror is officially coming back. Production has started on Wolf Creek Legacy, the third film, yes, just third film in the long-running Australian horror franchise. And yes, John Jarratt is returning as Mick Taylor. If you've seen the original Wolf Creek, you already know the deal. Quiet outback roads, isolated travelers, and one of the most disturbing villains of the 2000s. This new installment centers on an American family traveling through the Australian outback whose dream vacation quickly turns into a nightmare when Mick Taylor targets them. Their children manage to escape, which means the hunt begins. The film reunites Jarratt with franchise creator Greg McLean, who directed the original and is producing this new entry. Sean Laheef, director of Carnifex, is stepping in to helm the film, and this one's not just another sequel quietly landing on streaming. Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting are planning a wide theatrical release in North America. According to McLean, the new film will be bigger, darker, and more relentless. Which, honestly, it fits the franchise. Wolf Creek has always thrived on something simple: isolation and brutality. No supernatural rules, no mythology, just a terrifying idea that somewhere out there, someone like Mick Taylor exists. My question for you guys, though, does Wolf Creek still hit as hard today as it did back in 2005? Or has the slasher landscape moved past it? Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. Next up, one of the most disturbing indie horror concepts of the year, the Sundance horror film Leviticus, is getting a wide theatrical release from Neon on June 19th. It also plays at upcoming South by Southwest next week. The premise is brutal. The story follows two teenage boys trapped inside a religious community where parents willingly infect their children with a supernatural entity meant to suppress their sexuality. But the entity is cruel. It takes the form of the person the victim desires most. If they give in to that attraction, the entity attacks. The concept has already drawn comparisons to films like It Follows, but critics say this one goes even further because it actually weaponizes intimacy itself. The film stars Joe Bird from Talk to Me, along with Shannon Barry and Nicholas Hope. And Neon picking it up after Sundance is a strong signal that this could be one of those breakout indie horror hits. the kind that sparks conversation and controversy. Honestly, those are the films that push horror forward, so we're all about it. My question for you guys, though, do you prefer horror that tackles heavy, real-world themes, or do you want the genre to stay purely escapist? Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. Finally, today, Universal might be building a new monster universe for television. Scream 7 director Kevin Williamson revealed he's working on a secret series with Universal that he describes as an adult version of the Vampire Diaries. But here's the twist. The show will reportedly feature classic Universal monsters. We're talking Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, all living inside the same story. Sounds like a combination of Vampire Diaries meets Dark Shadows, in my opinion. Now, if you remember, Universal has tried several times to launch a shared monster universe. The Dark Universe attempt famously collapsed after The Mummy. But the TV space might actually be the smarter approach. Long-form storytelling gives these characters room to breathe. And Williamson already knows how to build supernatural drama. He literally created the Vampire Diaries. So if the tone lands somewhere between gothic horror and adult supernatural drama, this could actually work. But my question for you guys is, would you watch a modern TV series built around the Universal monsters? Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. Today's take. What's interesting about today's stories is how wide the horror landscape is right now. You got classic slasher franchises returning, bold indie horror pushing boundaries, studios experimenting with new monster universes on TV. 3 totally different strategies, all coexisting in the same genre. And that's the strength of horror. It's the only genre that can support micro-budget art films and franchise slashers at the same damn time. Which means the next big thing could come from anywhere. With today's poll, which story are you most excited about? Head over to Spotify, give us an answer. Is it Wolf Creek Legacy, Leviticus, Universal Monster TV series, or maybe none of those? Let me know, give me a reason why, and I do read those comments. That's it for today's episode of The Final Cut, your daily pulse in horror. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like that video, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, follow the show so you don't miss tomorrow's episode. Hit up that Patreon, hit up that website, click on those deals, read those articles, get ready for a lot of South by Southwest coverage coming in the next few weeks. I'm Travis. This has been your Daily Pulse in Horror. We'll be back tomorrow. More headlines, more updates. As always, you guys know the drill. Until then, keep the lights on.